One of the things we associate the most with looking cinematic or just looking like the movies we're used to seeing in cinema is the anamorphic look. We usually see very wide frames with stretched out bokeh, kind of like vertical, and we also see those streaky lens flares. So as you probably know, anamorphic lenses are super expensive, so in this video I'm going to show you how to create a very simple DIY filter with stuff you probably have laying around at your house, and we're going to recreate both the stretched out bokeh and the lens flares. It's going to be very easy, it's a very cool technique, so let's jump right in. So this is what the filter looks like. To get the best results, you probably want to use something like a 50mm or longer, because otherwise you're going to get some heavy vignetting, and also the effect on the bokeh is not going to be very noticeable. I originally created my filter to go on the back of the lens because it just looks better, and it also allows me to put on my Andy filter without any interference. But you can do it either way, like either at the back of the lens or the front. It doesn't really matter in terms of the final result. So what you'll need is a piece of cardboard, some fishing line, scissors or a utility knife, and some duct tape, or better off, gaff tape. Start off by drawing a circle around your lens. You can do this more precisely if you want by measuring your lens diameter and using a compass, but this is just a lazy way of doing it. Then cut out the circle and make sure you have some kind of a cutting board below so that you don't cut into the table. Now check if the circle matches your lens diameter. If not, then go back and refine it until it does. Now you're going to draw an oval shape inside the circle and cut it out. The more narrow you make the oval, the more stretchy your bokeh will get, but also the more apparent your vignette will be. So you might have to play around with the size and refine it like back and forth until you get the desired effect. You can tape the insides to cover the frail edges. After that, cut a piece of fishing line and tape it across the oval shape. Try to have it as straight as possible. You can also paint it with a blue marker to make the lens flare go blue. If you leave it unpainted, the flare is going to be in whatever color the light source is. So now the filter is done, and all that's left to do is tape it on your lens with the fishing line positioned vertically. So going into editing, there are a couple of things we can do to make this look a little bit more cinematic. So the first thing we're going to do is create a wide sequence to put our footage in, to make it just look a little bit more like what we're used to seeing when going to the cinema and watching a movie. It's usually a very wide image, so we're going to go into File and New Sequence, and I'm shooting in 4K, so I'm just going to find some preset here for 4K, and I'm gonna go into settings, and now we're going to change this aspect ratio, because currently it's 16:9, which is the normal aspect ratio, but we want to make it wider. So to do that, I'm gonna open up this cheat sheet over here, and I'm going to link it down in the description below. And here you can find like different aspect ratios and the resolution that you need to put in to get that aspect ratio. What I'm going to go for is the 2.39 aspect ratio, which is kind of the standard anamorphic aspect ratio, you could say. So I'm going to take this resolution and basically put it in the sequence settings. So I'm gonna press OK. And now I have this very wide screen over here, and I'm going to drag this footage over the sequence. I'm gonna say keep existing settings, and now we have a wide looking cinematic image, which is great. And the next thing I want to do is add some grain and also do some basic color correction to just make it pop a little bit more and to maybe look a little bit more like film. So I have this 8mm grain from Ezra Cohen, and it's completely free. I'm going to link it down in the description for you guys, and I'm just gonna drag this over and scale it up Then I'm going to go into the blending mode and I'm going to choose overlay. And I'm not sure if you guys can see this after the YouTube compression, but I'm just going to zoom in here so you can see the grain. This was our original, and now we have this great texture that just gives us this little bit of film vibes, just a little bit of character and some richness to our footage. And let's move on into color grading. So I'm going to go into the color tab over here, and now we have this nice little panel to work with, and I'm going to go straight into the creative tab. I'm going to choose a film emulation LUT, which is by Juan Malera. It's also free. I'm going to link that in the description as well. And I'm just going to double click it, and immediately we're getting a really cool look. This definitely pops out our image, and look at that saturation. I mean, it's looking really nice. It's a little bit too much maybe, so I'm just going to play around with the density slider. Maybe somewhere around there would be nice. And then I'm just going to go into the basic corrections, and I'm going to bring down my highlights quite a bit, and I'm going to cool it off a little bit because it's just too warm in my opinion. Somewhere around there would be pretty nice. And then I'm also just going to crush my blacks just a tiny bit. So that's all I'm gonna do. Very quick color grade just to easily give this a little bit more of a character and make it look a little bit better. So let's see a little before and after. So this is our original. That's with the grain already, just before the color grading, and this is after the color grading. So that's not bad at all for something we did in like 5 minutes. So that's just an easy way to fake the anamorphic look. Now obviously this is not a real substitute to using real anamorphic lenses, but it's just a cool little trick that I thought I'd share with you guys. So if this video helped you out, if you liked it, please press the thumbs up button and also consider subscribing to see more of my videos. Also check out my Instagram page, it's @yuval_a96. I upload a lot of content over there, some behind the scenes stuff, some Instagram stories. So hit me up there, it's @yuval_a96. But I'll be seeing all of you guys in my next video.